Yes, for sure.
Okay, call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners, November 4th.
Commissioner Ernst,
Here.
Commissioner Engel,
Here.
Commissioner Rollins,
Here.
Commissioner Vogelsang, here, Commissioner Wright.
Here. Any changes to the agenda? Nope. Public requests. Please go up to the podium, state your name and your address, and you have 3 minutes.
Al Travassos, 21692 Cromwell Circle, which is Via Verde. Wimbledon Villas. We are part of the Via Verde Association, and so is the district. And nobody attends the meetings, but I've been going. So at the last meeting, I learned, which is the first time in all the time I've been in Boca, I've heard this, which covers a lot of territory. But after 2 hurricanes, the concern with the level of the lakes and possible flooding came up. And I was advised verbally, I haven't confirmed all this in writing, so I'm relaying it to you, that there are 3 weirs in the Via Verde Association. And one of them is located on your property where the pathway goes over to Wimbledon. Right where the gate is, if you look to the right through the bushes, there's a concrete pedestal and there's a big turnstile on the top. And that is the weir that controls the level of this lake. And that is controlled by Lake Worth Drainage District. Via Verde is responsible for maintaining the lake as far as dredging and everything. But what came up was, because the level got quite high right before one of the last hurricanes, it was extremely high. And in fact, the platform out on the lake that Majorca was underwater. It was above the deck of the water over there. That the property owner is responsible to open the gate if it's necessary at flooding time. And Lake Worth Drainage District wants somebody appointed that can call and get authorization. Apparently, they don't have any employees actively employed that during a hurricane would address the issue if this lake was rising too much and affecting the homes and your property. So the president of the Verde Association and I have taken it on that we're going to try to find out why Lake Worth Drainage can pass this responsibility on. But a few years ago, they actually told Majorca, one of the weirs is on their lake, that they had to literally go in there through the brushes and clean out the weir and open it up because they didn't have anybody to send over. I find this a very unusual legal responsibility that has been passed on to you. And we're the recipients of the level of the lake. But what I am here to say is it'll probably be after January 1 before we start getting the information because they're finishing the budget. They don't meet in December. But I will keep you informed. I will send you emails on what I find out. And if you have more responsibility than I think you have, or I suspect you may have, I'll keep you informed and we'll figure out how to get Lake Worth addressing their situation, since I think their budget's a little bit more than everybody else's around here. They got a huge budget and I don't know why they can't control this problem better than they have. But that's the information that was transferred to the Via Verde Association verbally. And so I'm here to
May I comment
give you a
on
heads
it?
up, huh?
As president of 2 different associations with weirs and working with the Lake Worth Drainage District, they send out a notice if you sign up for it that tells the association what to do. So I think there's a question that it's really the association's overall responsibility to, that wheel is just an additional relief. The weir itself is operational and should work. It should be open and clear, but if it's not, that's always the responsibility of the association. I'd be surprised if it's the property owner where it's at. That's the association's drainage system. So that's a discussion point that I think
more
look at it a little
information
bit
than I
more.
had when I
Yeah.
walked in here. I didn't think there was any electronical control of.
It's not
level.
electronic. It's a manual.
That is, but
Yeah,
you
that one is-
reference they can control it other than the gate.
The gate,
manually.
the weir itself is just a diamond shape where the water flows through up a concept, but they do they only allow some, and it's lucky that we have it, I guess, as a group, that they have this wheel on the top that if they want to open it up more to lower it even more. But you'd be surprised. It can go up really high in the whole area. It still doesn't flood, but you have that option. We have the option to reduce it more if you had that like Valencia type rain.
But you say it's the association's responsibility.
It's the associations.
Verde wasn't, they
Yeah.
weren't sure if they were responsible or if the entity that the lake and the weir was on was responsible. So I'll clarify that.
I
for
think
you.
you'll find that, but I'd say the Lake Worth is pretty good, but they also will help you if you want to have more work done. So I'd, tread carefully to understand what you're trying to do, who's responsible for what.
Yeah. We will find out.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, any other public comment? Nope, close public comments. Approval of minutes at the previous board meeting.
Move to approve.
Second,
Roll call.
Okay, Commissioner Ernst.
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang.
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes,
Motion passes unanimously.
okay, regular business. First item is the Boco Paddle update.
Commissioners, Mr. Butters is here tonight to do an update on Boca Paddle. And Stuart is here as well, so they're gonna do a little presentation to kind of update you guys on where they're at with their project.
So I'll let Stuart talk. Stuart loves doing this stuff afterwards, but no. No, but a couple cool things, actually. We had our weekly call and Brian Levine, who is our partner, is in Dallas and he made it to the finals in the
mixed pro split age, where he was playing him and Gabe Tardio, who's one of the top open like junior like young pros in the country, against Ben Johns and Tom Dundon, who's the #1 male pro in the country. So kind of exciting.
pretty cool. And then Steve reminded me, our operational managing partners, City Pickle from New York, they're down here. They're opening up I call it a pop-up, but Steve Ross, the Dolphins owner, owns a piece of land in West Palm Beach, at City Place. And for the next 4 months or so, they created a nice outdoor facility. So if you want to check them out or see, they'll be down this weekend, but that facility will be open for 4 months or so. 6 months?
Try to stay open until the end of April.
Yeah. So kind of nice to see our team really embrace the sport. But anyways, we're here for a different matter. We just wanted to really just update you on Boca Paddle, where we're doing some of the renderings, and it's short. There's really no input or whatever. Just, show you that we're doing. And I was with Martin and Ludmila outside, and as an update, we believe jointly we will have our plans ready not only for North Park civil for the park, but our civil plans for the Boca Paddle in for permit by the first week of December. So we're moving along. We got, I think about 2 weeks ago, we got our final approval from the city commission on some height variations or whatever, and now we're off to the races. So anyway, so this is, I think we'll, want me to flip through it? You've seen it, go, and we can talk and we'll flip through it. The elevation's the same.
Yeah, the elevation's still the same, exactly.
Let's see if I push the right one.
Yeah.
So this is just giving a little overview.
So these are some of the newest renderings I can walk with this, right? Okay. So these are some of the newest renderings. So basically now, and we'll show you a couple more, but when you walk in, this is sort of what the feel is going to look like. We're trying to keep sort of this like wood and earth tone type feel that's going to have a lot of green space and things like that. What happened, Malcolm?
This is, nothing's more. So this is
Yeah.
just kind of like going into a little bit more detail, just on the amenities that we're gonna have, and just kind of reiterate some of our targets and the tournaments and the events we're gonna have. Really nothing to do. Just as a reminder, we have, almost 65,000 square feet of area on 7 acres, 14 indoor pickleball courts, 2 indoor padel courts, and 9 outdoor courts. So it's just more to refresh everyone's memory what our facility is. And again, we're gonna have the pro shop, the bars. The cost is 16 million. And of course, we have the management team of City Pickle. Again, just a refresher on the target, when we started and where we think we're hopefully tracking now. Like I said, before December, we should have our permits in. And hopefully the goal is to get open by somewhere of February of 26. So now we get into the project design. Of course, that's the outside. Same as we saw from before. The site plan.
So this is sort of the updated layout. The court layout hasn't really changed much. You still have 8 pickle on one side, 6 pickle and 2 padel on the other side. The center part now is sort of where we've been really working to sort of fine tune a bunch of this stuff. You have, when you come in, you have the reception here. You have sort of some open spaces, some managerial offices and some other offices and other space that we'll have there. Large open pro shop with grab and go food, other sitting areas. And then as you come towards the back, you have mixed use party rooms on the side here that could also be used for physical therapy. We've set up with the sort of in the round type of a setup where you have the kitchen is in the center. You have a large bar in the middle here that people can gather around, more seating to the sides. And then the back whole area here is men's side, women's side, and they're mirror images of each other. You have locker rooms, you have showers, bathrooms, cold plunge, sauna, all of those different amenities. And then it exits out here to then, you'll saw on the site plan, you basically have the outdoor courts, in the back there. And then here's just some better renderings now, sort of what the vibe and aesthetic and the feel is going to look like sort of as you walk in. So, sort of a pretty open feel, but definitely with earth tones and try to, feel pretty warm with a lot of green space, keeping things as open as possible. Off to the side there is the pro shop, grab and go, and all of the, retail area for sale. You want to jump to the next one? It's just now you're standing inside the pro shop looking towards the back. Center areas here for gathering and for eating, bar in the back here. You're standing in the pro shop back over here, reception still at the front, TV screens and stuff like that. Forward more. So look into the pro shop there where retail goods and then sort of grab and go food and drink and beverages and whatnot. A closer shot at this large wraparound bar and some of the seating area in the middle. So even though the ceilings are going to be quite high, more than 24 feet clear, we're trying to keep a feel here in the middle where it feels a little bit, a little bit smaller, a little bit warmer, and more of a nice gathering space. So one more shot from a different angle.
Yeah, I think one of the keys that we were working with Linda Allard, who's also a Boca designer here. We wanted to kind of bring that outdoor feel inside. So a little bit more of an organic, kind of a park-like setting, not too cold. So you'll see like a lot of the trees are going to be artificial trees, of course. But we wanted to create a little bit of that, that park-like setting, but bring it inside.
Just more of a zoom in of one of these like multi-purpose party rooms. From another angle as well on the other side.
Yeah, I think that's the hallway leading from the bar out towards the outdoor area, and the party room's on the left.
And then this is sort of the feel that we're looking for and what we're trying to go after with the courts. So we're trying to, there'll be fencing. Most of the fencing will be 4 feet tall, but we're also going to try to cover some of the fencing to keep it also a little bit of a sort of a cleaner, cleaner feel, better aesthetic. You'll have pass through on either side of these benches, just small path through that for people, but hopefully we'll block out most of the balls, keeping in that area. So some of that look, and again, keeping with this theme of like this outside inside park organic feel, some of the green wall and the fence, hopefully we're going to try to be able to do that, and more this this wood aesthetic benching. There's a couple other angles we have here to show you. So, and then remember that will be about 20, you'll be 24 feet clear to the bottom of the lights and the bottom of the rafters.
And we think we'll have like murals on the wall, and we haven't finished it yet, but we're anticipating to have, as some of our executive team, some of the top pickleball players in the world will probably be signed on here soon. So we'll probably make an announcement over the next couple months. So I think there'll be professionals working out here, regulars like myself, experts like Stuart, and just, ordinary people. So I think it's going to be a really, really cool benefit for the community. I think that might have been the last slide. That was it. Yeah.
Cool. I like the aesthetics that you guys are showing us here. I think it gives it like a really warm and friendly and inviting feel. I like the green, is that like an acoustical thing on the ceiling? Okay. Yeah, so I saw that in the main area and in here. And I like the wood. I think it looks great.
Might be fine tuned a little, Aaron, once we get through, but the benches might be a little bit better. We use those as placeholders,
They're gonna be sweaty and sitting on, stuff anyway. You don't want to make them too nice, right? Like a recliner.
People will get out.
Yeah.
We have that type of society. Everyone's very voyeuristic.
You also have,
People
like,
watching, yeah.
you have a lot of, there's actually a lot of, this is just in the rendering here, there's actually a lot of space from this fence to this fence. So you're gonna have people that are gonna wanna, if people are gonna play on 2 courts, they're gonna, let's say, have this court and this court, and they'll have all the space between. So you wanna have seating area for friends to hang out, gatherings, if people wanna rent out for parties and different things like that. We're trying to see at a lot of these other facilities, this has become a huge thing, hosting a kid's birthday party or an adult birthday party, these facilities and things like that. So we really wanted to focus on making sure we had a lot of space for that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. So this is actually a little bit over 15 feet, this space here. So if somebody were to have an event and wanted 2 courts, they could get 35 feet wide by 15 feet. So you're getting quite a bit of square footage there. We can hang out. We can move some tables in if they want to have food and different things like that.
And there's still no drop-in availability, right?
What do you mean?
Like you can't just drop in and play or anything like that. Like it's a membership only, right?
No. Daily, if somebody wants to.
There was
play,
a daily pass.
There will be a daily pass.
Yes,
absolutely. Yeah.
okay,
So if somebody wants, basically what it's gonna come down to, Aaron, I think, as you look at some of the economics of it, it's basically if somebody's gonna play more than 4 or 5 times a month, they're gonna join.
Right.
If they want to play once, twice, 3 times a month, they're gonna just pay a daily drop-in fee
Mhm.
with a discount for Boca resident.
Right, okay.
I think some of the advantages, of course, if you have a membership, the booking, right? You could book
Yeah.
further in advance, kind of like, I think, like this facility here, the boat, the racket club has.
Okay, anybody else? Susie?
Beautiful. Very, very nice. I mean, I don't even play pickleball. I'd go and sit in there. Yeah, I'm gonna come hang out. Would you email your prospective fees, your membership fees and your daily fees to Brianne so that she can share those with us?
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. from
Yeah, it's
that.
in the presentation. And I think it was in the exhibit for a concession
Okay.
agreement, Susan, too. If we could, I don't know if Brianne, do we have an address yet?
That's a good question.
We have one generic address for the whole park, so.
Because for like our permit applications, the city will have, how could we, maybe our good friends at Miller Lake, is there a way for us to figure out how we could have an address? As the other thing is, we were talking about applying for a liquor license or wine and beverage, whatever. So the state is asking us too, what's the address?
Geolocation?
We'll work with Mike and Lumi
Yeah.
on that and see if we can get that figured out.
Okay.
Anyway, Steve?
Yeah, this is great. I think you guys have done an exceptional job with this. I have a couple of questions. You mentioned physical therapy. Do you have plans on partnering with a specific practice? And will there be somebody present during open hours?
So I would say I get a call at least once a week from a different group that wants to like 3rd-party rent space from us to do physical therapy and like performance and strength conditioning there. So I think that'll probably be the best way to go. And we have to sort of narrow down who we'd want to do that with. And the idea would be to, these people would, have a full-time practice there and they would cater to, to folks that are there using the facility, but also they'd have to bring in people from the outside as well to help make their financials work. But I
Okay,
think that'd be the best way to go.
all right, that sounds good. Also, for parties and things like that, will there be any kind of prep facilities at all? So if they bring their food in, that they can warm it if necessary, or if they have beverages, facilities for ice machines or things like that?
I think for parties, it's going to be focused on like you'd be using us and our facility for the catering and the food. I don't think we're going to allow much in the way of, if somebody has a birthday party, they want to bring an outside cake and stuff like that. But if they want to do, we'll have enough with our kitchen and some of the additional, stuff that we have access to be able to cater an event of any size.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, guys.
Craig?
Yep, just a couple, great job, looks phenomenal. I'm very impressed with the timeline. I think that's, moving forward on that is great. If you can get to that, I hope you do. And we'll help you get there, I hope. Just two questions, just on kind of reconciling things, the space size. I thought in your application to the city, it said like 77,000 or something.
I
That's-
think what we talked about is I think we're gonna drop, we were gonna have a mezzanine on top, like an extra for party space. And then we started looking at it and we thought we'd have a lot of, in speaking to the designer and some of the kitchen people, they said it's better, and because we only have a certain amount of parking spaces anyways.
Yeah.
So you can only hold a certain amount of people. They said, it's better not to have all this open area that goes unused, like realistically, the mezzanine space, how often is it going to get used, right? It's only if it's big events. So we were thinking when we do have larger events, we could go back to the floor plan. We do have these 4 party rooms that actually open up to there's actually openings into the court, but we thought, okay, so we could always lose an indoor court, put an artificial or put some floor covering over the court and have that as the party area. And I think it would become more interactive, to kind of have this big separation upstairs and downstairs. It seemed cool to overlook, kind of sit there and maybe watch people. But it became a little problematic too, in terms of having 2 kitchens. And I think,
It also creates as we started digging into more, Craig, we started seeing that it creates some interesting issues with the lighting in terms of how high you got to go for the lighting, because we would have to keep the building have to be higher. That also relates to the HVAC and all those types of things. So I'd actually think the way we're at here now, by bringing this, getting rid of the mezzanine, we drop the ceilings down a little bit. We build a lower building, we have less energy costs, we have easier ways to do the lighting for the ports and things like that.
So what is the height of the building then now? Is it?
24 clear inside, and I think we're about 29 total, I believe.
no, I think one of the bar joists and everything, we're probably, with the parapet wall, we're probably like 30 something feet high.
Okay, and previously it was
8 feet taller.
Yeah.
8, oh, that's not much. So then I noticed in the picture, there's a lot of columns. So those are columns supporting the roof, I take it.
I think there's some, I don't know if you could see where the columns are there.
There's
Yeah.
3 columns basically, right?
Okay.
So it's a joint construction. We have column here, column here, and column here.
Got it.
Right, so we tried to do everything we could to keep the columns out of the sight lines of the play, but also future-proof the building if God forbid we ever had to turn this into an indoor, volleyball, indoor something else.
Yeah.
That's
You
great.
could-
I think it looks
yeah, if you
very
look-
well thought out.
Yeah, I mean, if you look correctly, like Stu said, these black dots here are the columns, but then it's spaced purposely that down the road, if we had to ever turn it into a field house or,
You have more-
we'd have a little more
Yeah,
room.
this span here is 70 feet, so you don't have to need a column here in the middle, so you basically have 75 feet wide if you ever needed to reconfigure the 4 courts into something else.
But how far is it from wall to wall?
From wall to wall here
Yeah,
is 145.
okay. Okay, very well thought out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bob?
Well, I think you've proved the point that we made the right choice in selecting you as the one to put this property up there like that. I mean, it's very well done. And I'm looking for it. I'm not a pickleball player, but
You will.
yeah, it's certainly enticing enough to where I think I might do that. It's especially in the air conditioning during the summer.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much, gentlemen.
One quick
Wonderful job.
question. In the outdoor, because we didn't see any of the outdoor courts, any more pictures of those. I just want to make sure that for the seated areas where people are in between games and stuff, there will be shade for them, right?
Yeah, so I
Okay.
think what we're going to do, Aaron, is this area here, there's gonna be like you see, it goes out, you see the way it bumps out over
Mhm.
here because of the bathrooms? So this will be an outdoor cover, it says here, covered area. So we'll probably have maybe like a pergola or something, where it's like a louvered system. You
Okay,
could open it up and
Okay,
it, or be covered if it rains, something like
Okay.
that.
okay,
Yeah.
that's it? Good, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You can probably give that to Mike, the microphone and stuff, yeah. Oh, they do, okay. you're good. Okay.
Wait.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Good to see you.
Thanks. Okay, moving on to number 2, Miller Lake North Park update.
Commissioners, on page 6 of your agenda packets was just a brief memo. We have Mike, Lumi, and Martin here to talk and give an update on where we are with our portion of North Park.
All right, so we just wanted to kind of give you an update of where we are in the process, because there's a lot of different processes going on here with the project of this size.
Mike,
Um,
tell the record who you are.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike Kroll with Miller Lake. So first of all, where we are right now from a permitting perspective, DEP gave us concurrence on groundwater issues last week. And one of the nice things about that is now we're able to finalize the strategy on how we're going to handle stormwater in the park. And the approach that we're going to take is really low impact design. So what we're utilizing is a series of bioswales. So swales that run through the park, treat the water before it actually outfalls into the canal on the east side. So that improves water quality before it leaves the park. And the other thing is it allowed us to reduce almost 95% of the exfiltration trench that we were going to put in for drainage. And that's really important because that's $200 a linear foot. So again, we're looking at ways and you know, we're waiting for a lot of the agencies to give us a little bit of direction so we can come up with the most cost effective, but also ecologically responsible designs for the project, because we think that's a very important thing for this project. So that was something that we were able to do. Now, since we have that, we can finalize the drainage plans and all the engineering plans. And as Malcolm said, our goal is the 1st of December. We should have a package that's ready for submittal to the agencies, both South Florida as well as the city to get approvals on that. Okay. Now, one of the other things and this is one of the things that we want to talk about today, is as a condition of the site plan approval, the city required us to improve 67th, which is the northern access into the park. Okay. And let me see. Okay. So here's existing conditions. So if I can just kind of point here, this is 2nd Avenue. North is up. This is the actual northern entrance into the park. It'll run down there. And then this is the northern access. So right now, this is a very simple 2-lane road. I would call it more of a drive than a road right now. And you can see folks are just kind of park off the edge of that. So what we did is we did a survey. A survey was conducted of this right of way because this is an actual right of way itself that's controlled by the city. And everything north of that is Lake Worth Drainage District easement, a drainage easement. So one of the things that we need to do is come up with a plan, a design for this roadway. So tonight we're going to present to you 4 different options. And the reason that we're presenting those to you is on the 7th, we're meeting with the city to refine, on the 7th, 8th, oh, I'm sorry, refine some very specific conditions. And this is one of the things that we would like to present to them and say, this is the direction that the district would like to go. Are you okay with that? Okay. So, we got the, okay. So this is a few concepts that we've come up with. Now, there's some constraints on this site and in these concepts that we had to deal with. First of all, the right-of-way is only 65 feet. It's not a very wide right-of-way, okay? The other thing is we have the FPL lines that come in on this north side. So the FPL lines run along the north side of the condominiums here, bisect the right-of-way here, and then run eastward, okay? So because of these overhead lines, you're limited in any kind of landscape you can put under them. You can't put big trees and such under them. Now, there are some large trees that in the condominiums that they have to kind of hat rack all the time. And our proposal is to just leave those trees there because they do provide shade and we would never get to replant trees of those sizes again. So, so those are some of the constraints that we had. So first, this is concept A. So a very simple concept. In essence, what we're looking at doing is putting. Oh, I always do this. Okay, stand back. Okay, we put entry signs on the north and the south side of the entry itself. And this one, what we prescribe is that the pedestrian access comes south on Second. They would cross here, and then there's an 8-foot path that goes all the way into the park this way. Okay. We also would introduce a median here that crosswalk would be in. Again, that offers a refuge for pedestrians as they're crossing the street there, and then have a landscape accents in that area. We would have 5 feet minimum of green space in the swale here. And then this road actually wiggles to the north a little bit. I know it's a little bit hard to see, and gets about 12 feet wide here. And what that allows this to do is make this curve a little more smooth than some of the other concepts. Again, it's just because we have limited space, we can't do a whole lot of juggling there. And then also on the north side, we have large canopy trees. So again, it'll be shaded on that north side. And then the road would be 1 lane either way. And it would come in here, wiggle to the north, and then enter into the park with an 8-foot walk on the south side. Okay. And as we make this wider here, we can introduce more trees. Again, with this FPL line bisecting it, we're limited on the size of those trees. They can't really be large, like huge oak trees or anything that we could put on that side, but they could be medium canopy shading trees. Okay. All right. Next concept would be concept B. I'll take my little clip notes here. So, this one is introduction of a larger median, a 6-foot median, 6.5-foot median, all the way through for most of the right of way here. And the other thing I forgot to mention is we have 2 existing driveways that go into the condominium. So we're maintaining those. We're not impacting those at all. So we're going to have a 6-foot wide median. So again, that median would be landscaped. Again, wouldn't be with big canopy trees, but probably large palm trees of some sort down the middle. Nice formal planting there. We also have a 8-foot swale on both sides. So the green space between the walks and the drives are 8 feet. So it gives us nice space to put some landscaping. We can actually put trees between the sidewalk and where the vehicular traffic is happening there. On this concept, we are introducing or maintaining that crossing at this point, but also introducing a pedestrian pathway that runs eastward towards the park and then does a crossing right here and then can enter into the park. Again, we were trying to do, one of the requests from the city was to have sidewalks on both sides. Again, once we start introducing that, you'll see the landscape opportunities are reduced. So we're trying to present a few options that offer opportunity to have that landscape on either side. Let's see, I think, so this is concept B, similar with the entry signs on either side there. Okay. All right. And this crossing right here, these would all be tabletops. So it actually would raise up and go down. So it almost is like a speed bump, looks like a speed bump, but it's a tabletop for the pedestrian crossing. So it'll be an 8-foot wide or 10 feet wide area that's flat, but then transitions down and slopes down to the actual roadway. So again, it slows that traffic as you're coming up on where the pedestrians are doing the crossing. Okay. Right. Next one. So the approach with this one was to make the median as wide as possible, because realizing that we can't really put a whole lot of landscaping here, we can make a wider median. And by having this wider median, we can put canopy trees in the center. Okay. But we don't have a walkway on this side, on the north side. We just have that singular crossing here. And the reason is because if we make that median wider, it pushes the edge of the road further north. So we really can't squeeze both landscaping and the sidewalk on the north side. The sidewalk on the south side here, again, is a 8-foot walk. and transitions into the park over here. Okay, so one crossing here, fatter median. The signage is a little bit different on this one. We moved the signage actually into the median itself to make it a little bit grander in the central portion and not located on the sides, because now we've pushed the landscape is much narrower and the pedestrian connection or the sidewalks are running in those areas. Okay. And in concept C is very similar to the last one, except remember how we wiggled the first one a little bit to the north to make this curve a little more comfortable. We do this here also. So we maintain this wide median here, but then we wiggle this to the north a little bit. So this green space, which is only 5 feet here, becomes 12 feet here. So we can add more landscape in that location. And the alignment of that road is a little more smooth to allow for turning into the park. Okay. Did I hit everything, Lumi? Okay, gotcha.
I could speak a little bit. Lumi Fuentes with Miller Leg. And part of it really is, even though this has a wider median and it's really that grand entrance with the park signage, the other concept as well on A and B, our idea is big sign on the side too, with very more columnar, and just so you could see it on both sides, that grand entrance to the park. So we're thinking of it, it's in the blue, the two signs. So either option will still trying to aim for that grand entrance to the park with signage.
Is the pedestrian walkway just on the north side, or is there one on the south side also?
Yes,
This-
on all the concepts, it's on the south side. We maintain it on the south side just for connectivity to the condominium. It's an existing pathway, but just some of the options do not have it on the north side.
But you do have on the north side on both, on concept B there's.
Yes, concept
Yeah.
B does have it on the north as well as the south. Yes.
And that was one of the kind of the requirements as well, and conversations with the city as well.
And does that handle the curve appropriately the way you've got it in?
It does. It's not as comfortable as the other one, but we did all the turning radius analysis, and it does meet code and everything. So yes.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dave.
Again, I'm very impressed with the work you put in and the designs you've come up with. Taken a lot of things into consideration that lay people wouldn't even think about.
Sure.
From my own standpoint, my own personal preference is that there are sidewalks on both sides. Living in Boca del Mar, if I want to walk out of my development and walk up to Power Line Road and stay on a sidewalk, I have to cross the street twice, because we come out, I got to cross the street because that's where the sidewalk is. Then the sidewalk on that side ends and I got to cross the street again.
Right.
So from a pedestrian standpoint, you're going to have people coming from both sides. So my feeling is I would sacrifice the tree cover, the extra landscaping, for the practicality of having sidewalks on both sides.
Okay.
I think you've done a great job. Another question I have is, what would be the effect of the medians on vehicle traffic? Because obviously we can't have guys trying to take that curve on two wheels.
Right.
So
That's another good point about having this tabletop, because it does, it's a refuge, and it's a symbol that there are pedestrians crossing, but it also physically reduces the speed. I mean, if you hit that thing, you're going to be up in the air. So again, that's really the intent of that, is really to make sure it signifies there's a pedestrian crossing, but also help slow traffic down on this curve here.
thanks.
Hey, Craig?
Yep, since you're on option B, just question, help me understand, is it the two sidewalks? And I agree with what Steve says about two sidewalks on either side, but my question is, you have it a little bit moved back. Is there any reason why you didn't move it closer to the Yes.
here?
Yes,
exactly.
'cause
Is there
of-
a
Again,
Specific
ru-
reason.
Yeah, the specific reason is you really don't want to cross pedestrians on a curve. And that's the thing, is if the pedestrians are crossing here, just to see them visually from the
Yep.
driver as well as the pedestrian side is dangerous.
Got
And,
it.
and also from this driveway, a tabletop would have to be like 40 feet back.
So it has to be on that side.
Yeah,
of the
it
road.
has to be
That-
on that
okay.
side. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, and then is the park, will it be able to be gated? I mean, can you
Yes.
close it off and where does it get closed off at?
So it would be, and I'm trying to zoom in.
It's okay, it's on that end.
Yes, it's right.
Oh, you don't want to touch it, yeah.
Should I do? All right, I'm pulling a mic. So right here, it's very faint, but when I send you over the exhibit, you could see it. You have vehicular, actual, fencing on there. So we're still kind of working out the kinks of pedestrian accessibility to the park and
Yep.
how that would work, but that there would be gates, at that end, and that was actually even approved, by the site plan to have those gates up there and not all the way back at the property line.
That's fine. So there is gonna be some kind of gates like they have at Sugar Sand.
Oh,
It's not
yeah.
like a
Correct.
chain link fence, it's gonna roll across there. and-
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep,
that's good. So
absolutely.
Really, the signage could be also back there to a degree too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it could. We just wanted to make sure that, this is North Park. This is a North Park entrance. So as people were coming here, it's really identify that destination.
So in that same spirit, I think you said that on this option, there's swale areas on either side of the road.
Correct.
Correct.
And I noticed that for whatever reason, in the current format, they loved using that other side of the road for a parking lot.
Mhm.
Correct.
And
Yes.
that tells me that, okay, are you gonna have enough parking in the park? And when there's a big event or something, is there somewhere people can park?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We,
I'll
in
go
the
back
actual
to-
park design.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
We
let's-
actually have overflow parking anticipated.
Can you
That's
pull
going to
up
be
the site plan?
grass. That's going to be actual grass. You won't even notice that it's parking.
So no one will ever need that.
No.
I just
No.
want to make absolutely sure
Yeah.
that.
Well, I
you
won't
can't
say
leave
it
it
is.
flat. if you
Yeah.
want.
There is plenty of parking inside
Mhm.
the
So
park.
just a little tidbit, they were working on the buildings and that's probably why there were cars parked over there. Because they were doing roof work and exterior work on the buildings.
And I think they were.
There's
doing some work on the
normally
canal,
not
too.
cars parked in that area, just so you know.
But right here, so this is 67th and this is, so north is this way.
Yep.
Here's the circle, come in,
There it is.
come in here, come in here. And then these are actually paved parking lots here.
Right.
This parking lot is grass. So it's
Okay.
just going to be stabilized so when we have events or if there's a necessity for overflow parking, it's going to just have probably a split rail fence around it. And then we'll be able to open the gates up right there and cars will be able to park in that location.
That's good, because that's what happens at Sugar Sand. Every park gets overrun somewhere. It
Yeah.
says little overflow. That's really well thought out. Thank you. I think it looks great. So.
Malcolm's building also.
We share parking.
Can you go back to the concepts again?
Mhm.
Because so we have to vote on that tonight?
If
Just-
you could, yeah,
or
it
some
would, it
direction?
would help, at least even
I
if it
have
was
some
narrowed
questions,
down to
though.
a couple or something, at
Yes.
least give
Yeah.
us.
We have a meeting with the city on Friday and we're gonna see what our constraints are realistically. But we wanted to kind of have your feedback already to kind of see the preference from the district. And we can work out
Well-
those kinks.
Isn't there only one option with the two sidewalks? And that's B?
Well, so is that sidewalk though absolutely necessary? Because I mean, you have to cross over anyway, right?
Right.
Mhm.
So either,
It's,
No.
it's not necessary. It's a desire. It can be put there. So again, and that's why we wanted to show all the different concepts is that it works with just one sidewalk and a crossing here. But again, if it's more comfortable for people to walk in that way and then do a crossing here, then it works.
for concepts C and D,
Yes.
I kind of like the idea of more green space when you're driving in and the bigger trees and the sign in the middle in terms of symmetry for me. I like the aesthetic of that better. And in terms of the drive, the curve, that was the difference between C and D,
C and
correct?
D, correct.
I can't visualize that. So in terms of your recommendation,
Mhm.
what would you recommend? on that. I mean, I like
think-
this better
I think
because it's
one
more
other thing that-
symmetric, but.
Yeah, but I think the other thing that with the wiggle in it, so I can go to the next one. When we talk about, reducing speed and such like that, anything that's not as straight a line is
Mhm.
going to reduce speed. And even if we had to introduce something here, just rumble strips or something like that. Like I say, if it's straight, it's a raceway. So any kind of little chicane or movement in the road that you can introduce, it helps reduce speed. So again, this gives you kind of a nice grand entrance here. It does taper down here, but it tapers down for a reason. And the other thing is, Lumi talked about the gates being here. So if you did come in here and you did see that the gates were closed, it offers you that opportunity to make a U-turn. You're not stuck. So that was one of the questions is, why don't you put a gate here? I was like, well, what happens when you drive in there and the gate's right there? So that's why we really moved that out to the front.
Okay.
So again, I guess to answer the question between C and D, I think D offer, the reason for the wiggle is it also helps reduce speed.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
Very well thought out, all of your concepts. In terms of taxpayer dollars, what's the impact with each one in your estimation?
Like, is there a difference in cost? What's the most expensive?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think there's a huge difference in price between all of them. I don't think one is significantly more than the other. I think anything that you do with paving is probably more expensive. So probably if we have the sidewalks on both sides, that would be more expensive than sod and landscaping.
and that one has the tabletop as well, so.
What type of sidewalks are you thinking? When you say paving, are you thinking concrete sidewalks or paved?
Concrete
Yeah,
standard,
concrete.
8-foot
yes.
paths.
I mean, is the city gonna say to you, we want the one with the 2 sidewalks? Are they gonna just not give us a choice at this point and then they're gonna
No,
say
I
that?
think it's up for debate, and that's why we're early on showing them the concepts to make sure if it fits within the constraints of code and everything as well, and what their vision for it is as well, because as we know, it's going to be a shared cost between the district and the city as well.
Can you go back to concept B?
Sure.
Yeah, I guess I agree with our chairperson. Concept D is probably better for the turnaround feature. You really need to have that. if
I
you're
mean, otherwise
someday-
you're gonna have to turn into the driveway
Right, and they're
probably.
gonna use it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. It'd just be,
To me, it's safety is number one. Drive yourself from the wiggle kind of slows people down. That's important. And the ability to turn around if it's closed.
Mhm.
Um,
and this is, the other thing is one of the reasons that we're kind of not putting anything over here is we would anticipate this may be a fire requirement. If a fire truck did come in here without turning around, they could use this. So this may be some kind of mountable curb that a fire truck in an emergency could come back out and such. So some of those other things that kind of thinking of that will be ultimately a requirement.
Let's still work on concept D for the fire truck.
Yeah, fire trucks work on all of the concepts.
On that one corner, where if you go with B, where that sign is, are you guys gonna be removing or relocating or FPL, all those
So
things that are on that corner?
neat thing that we learned when we got the survey for that corner was that, and this is something we're going to be working as well with Brianne, is that the actual right of way is currently planted with a hedge that the condominiums have.
Mhm.
So if we really were to take that up to the the right of way property line, we would have enough space and there would be no issue with the FPL pole.
Cause there's like a few things there,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
big things.
Mhm.
Yes, so that,
There's a couple boxes
there's a
there,
couple,
Yeah.
so
but all
all,
those things kind of fit.
Mhm.
If we can regain what is rightfully the right of way and be able to put that pedestrian path in behind that pole, we have adequate space.
Yeah.
Because when you look at it right now, it's really tight right against that.
Yeah.
there's no
signal pole.
ADA accessibility path
Yeah.
currently out there.
There is a small path there.
Yeah, it's like maybe does not
Yeah.
meet ADA.
Okay. I mean, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, just to reiterate, placement of the gate is the same for every option.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yes.
Also, you just brought up ADA. Will the number of sidewalks, whether we do one or two, have any impact on ADA?
No, as long as we have an accessible route, it will be
Okay.
fine. Yes.
Thanks.
So we have to kind of come up with a, so I'll just say my vote would be D.
I'm still sticking with the options with two sidewalks. I believe
Okay.
that's A and B.
B. Yeah.
Just
okay.
B.
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 Uh,
B and D. I
From
mean,
my
those are-
own
those are two fine
experience.
Concepts. I mean,
Yes, from my own experience.
Right.
I think it's safer and I think it's more user friendly.
okay.
Craig?
I'm really indifferent, so I go with Madam Chair. I'll go with D.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bob, where are you at?
I'm like Craig. Yeah, I mean, I see the value in both of those. In fact, I'd written down B and D as we're going through here as comparable decisions. I mean, I could go either way and to make it easier, just go with the D.
Okay, Susie?
I like D because of the entrance and accessibility. And I think one side for the sidewalk, it's not like we're walking down Power Line Road. I get it, Steve. I totally get it. But this is in a park and we're not going to have, cars rushing back and forth, hopefully. So I do like D.
Okay.
And I guess one other reason that, I didn't explain this, that the sidewalk crosses here and doesn't go into the park on that side is that the road actually is so tight right against this drainage easement where the canal is, that there isn't space for a sidewalk. So, I mean, our desire would have been just keep the sidewalk going all the way and that'd been great. On both sides of the road, beautiful. But we don't have space here. So that's the reason that that sidewalk has to cross before the entrance.
Steve, could we convince you to go with D so we would be unanimous?
Is there cake involved?
There will be.
Yeah, I'll make it unanimous.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, great. So that's what we'll do is we'll go with, present concept D. We may have concept B in our back pocket. Ask for sidewalks and such, but so that's what we'll do. We'll move forward with that. Thank you so much. I appreciate your input on
Madam
that.
Chair, if you will,
you.
Yes.
you may choose, given the nature of the discussion today, just have a motion that would otherwise allow there to be a preference for D. So there's some flexibility for the consultants, just in case there's a need to vary from that.
I'll make the motion to present concept D to the city council.
As a preference.
as a
Second.
preference.
Second.
Great. Thank you so much.
Hold on, we have to
In the
roll.
vote.
Oh,
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to number 3, 2025 district meeting schedule.
Commissioners, in your agenda packets on page 7 is the memo and then the calendar for dates for next calendar year. It includes the addition of the day after Thanksgiving as a holiday. Tonight, I would like to get 2 separate motions, one to adopt the schedule for 2025 calendar year and another separate motion to add the day after Thanksgiving to our current calendar year in alignment with the city holidays.
Move that we adopt a board meeting schedule as laid out in this memo.
Second?
Okay, any further discussion? Nope.
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes
Can
unanimously.
you also make the day after Thanksgiving this year?
That was my separate
It-
motion, a second
Separate.
motion.
Yes.
Second.
Okay.
move to approve holiday closings as laid out in the memo, including this year, which is Friday, the 28th.
The day after Thanksgiving, whatever that
Yeah,
is.
the Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, 2024.
Second.
Second, go ahead. Okay, Bob seconded.
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, approval of payroll and invoices. Correct?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion for approval of payroll and invoices for the amount of $113,175.53.
Second,
Commissioner Ernst,
I think I heard, the second was by
Susie.
Susie.
Yeah.
But yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, moving on to reports and discussion items from Director Harms.
Commissioners, just a few items, just a reminder that this Thursday at 3 p.m. we have the groundbreaking scheduled for the playground at Patch Reef Park. They're actually going to start putting up construction fencing on November 6th. So we will be out there November 7th at 3 p.m. We have several members from City Council that are going to join us, as well as the mayor. And we also have Palm Beach County Commissioner Marcy Woodward is going to attend the groundbreaking as well. The column repair project at Sugar Sand Park was permitted, so they'll start later this week. They're having a meeting, and then they'll start working on that once the city walks through and gives the okay to continue. Just wanted to mention, thanks to the city staff for all their efforts on Boca Boo Days. It was a lot of great events happened. I only got to attend the Monster Mash here. Chuck attended all the events and took some great photos of everything, and the participation was great at the different facilities. So if you haven't taken a look at those photos, it just is a reminder of why we're here and what we do. And it's always nice to see people enjoying our facilities. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just one quick item, to the extent that we have been briefing you on the pending litigation regarding JJ Morley. We have a proposal which came in on the 1st of November, which we've not yet shared with you, came in on the 1st. We will share that directly with Brianne and have a conversation with her about the possibilities. We seem to be within a range of discussion at this point, at least at this point, and we would like to share that with you privately, which we'll do. Without calling for a shade meeting or asking for a shade meeting, we will address the issue through Brianne with you all and try to find a way to get to an answer that makes economic sense and financial sense to the district.
With you all individually.
Yes, correct. Other than that, I have nothing else to report, but to say thank you for the time. Appreciate it very much, always.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, Steve.
Just to say that, once again, since there's cake involved, it's nice to see how well we operate as a commission. It really, there's like almost no acrimony. There is no acrimony. And this is to get things done the way we get things done. I think it's great. And other than that, I got nothing else.
I think that's very nice. I think that's good. Question, more for Brianne and I guess the Miller Lake team. Given that, the pickleball center has laid out their timeline, is North Park, the east side, going to be on that same timeline? Because I think you want the park done first or the pickleball center done first? And just where are we on coinciding
Well,
timelines?
we have a few more areas that are going to weigh in on ours, including like FDEP. I think there's a timeline there with that. We're working on construction documents for December as well. We obviously have to bid ours, so that puts us back a little bit, have to award the bid. But we're working closely with that same time frame. Ours will take a lot longer to construct because there's a lot more to do than just one building. But we'll probably be under construction at the same time. I can't guarantee we'll be done by February of 2026, but working towards that for sure.
Okay, Bob.
Sorry, I missed our last meeting. I had you in my heart and my mind during the drive to my meeting up in Jacksonville. But like Steve, I think we're all in agreement that we have great leadership at the top, and the committee commission itself also. We get a lot more done when we're all on the same page as we typically are, with some maneuvering and offering of a cake to settle a unanimous.
We laugh at his jokes too.
Yes.
Yes, that's
So,
very important.
yeah, I have nothing else to add, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Susie?
I am so sorry I'll be missing the groundbreaking because this is a playground that I really think that the city needs. And it's going to be a great asset to the special needs community, which has a very soft place in my heart. Speaking of playgrounds, I did speak to Mike and Lumi about some requests from the public about alternatives to the conventional playground outside of the special needs community. The older kids, parents want their older kids to get off of the screens. And Mike and Lumi have thought outside the box once again, and they do have areas that will challenge the physicality of the kids and their get them off their screens. And I think it's going to be a really great asset to North Park. So thank you very much for thinking of that before we even asked. So that's all I have.
Okay. I was running by North Park earlier this weekend and I just thought, oh my gosh, I can't wait until dirt starts moving on there. I was so excited. So thank you for all your hard work. And if everybody has not voted yet, please get out and vote tomorrow. Very important. And that's it.
There's one thing I forgot. I had an idea for an address. Can we get the entrance road to North Park named North Park Way or something similar?
I'll do my best.
Okay,
I don't know what it entails, so let's find out. Let's do some research first and I'll come back with that.
okay. Move to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thought you
We are
wanted to be
adjourned.
Steve Engel way.